And with that, I think we can begin without further ado. Welcome to the Opus Magnum Weeklies 2022. This is our 5th stream for the year. This week it's a puzzle brought to you by Rolamni. The puzzle is Ignition Cord. Very cool puzzle. Sadly we don't have Rolamni in the chat here right now, but this is a puzzle he's been tinkering with for a long time, because Rolamni, hell of a player, but he's not usually much of a puzzle creator. I think this is the first puzzle he's ever actually created. I tell you one thing, he play tested the hell out of this. He and I did a lot of play testing, but yeah, he really wanted to make sure it was an interesting, metric puzzle for everyone. We even had a third metric, which we knew was fun, but was worried it would be slightly too simple, so we had to cut it in favor of our current metrics, which are area and cost. Without further ado, which I think I've said 2 or 3 times now, I think we will start with cost. Okay, skipping over a couple of area solves, we start the puzzle in 15th place. New to the weeklies is Rubik's. Actual min cost, quote unquote, but faster. I regret to inform you, Rubik's, this is not min cost. We get that one.
This is the fastest gun min cost if you wanted to build something and send it in, but she might have missed something.
Yeah, she was DMing me all week about being on 60 and thinking that was naive min, and then finding this. But it was actually this that was naive min. I'm so sorry, Rubik.
2 triplex bonders? What do you do to get 60?
To get 60 you use 2 trackless arms. So where's the triplex bonder? It would look like this. That would be like a 60G. I think that's what it looked like.
That makes sense. Okay.
But yeah,
the channels idea gives you 3 tracks to get the same access.
And importantly, you need a length 2 arm. Can't do it with a. Actually, do you need a length? You can do. Actually, you can do this with. Can you do this with the length 3 arm?
Yeah, 2 and 3 both work because you're just parallel to the bonder. If you could overlap, you could touch all of them with a length 1 arm and 2 track. But unfortunately, overlap is disallowed from your standard competition.
One day, we'll have like a weekly or something that makes a full overlap week work. Okay. Vanishingly few instructions too. It's actually quite nice to program this one.
Yeah, it's so much nicer to program than the algorithm I found for slightly cheaper.
Rolamni he messaged me wondering if we should do instructions as secondary for this instead of cycles, but I think I like cycles better than instructions, because there are more ideas for cycles than there are for instructions, because encouraging looping kind of reduces the number of ideas you can use.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine a way to do it looping, so I'm missing something too. Let's see.
Oh, my solve did not loop. I could not make mine loop either. I'm with you fully on that one. Alright. With that, we will move on. In 14th place, without a team this week, unfortunately, is Cadspin.
She teased in Discord, rip me, thought it was min cost to do 55.
Alright, so what we will talk about. Alright, so for anyone wondering, minimum is 50. Not 55, not 40, not 45, it's 50. We'll talk about it shortly. We're a couple of solves away from min cost because the people in this community are insanely smart. I cannot believe how many people figured out 50. Nice triangle. Like it hasn't crashed yet. Alright, so I think the main difference between this and Rubik's was that CAD spend. I noticed Rubik's had like one wasted pivot at the beginning, and I think
yeah, it's literally just a 6T versus 1T, and that's the question of whether you bother to program it for the full cycle count.
Yeah, I think the 6T saves 2 cycles, and there was like a wasted pivot in Rubik's, which is the 3rd cycle. So that's the only difference. So with that, I think we can move on fairly rapidly. In 13th place, the winner of the 55Gs is Pizza Luigi, who actually does use length 3 arm and a second input.
Oh, the second input makes you go faster. That's smart.
That's actually quite neat. Also seeing it built back.
Yeah, it lets you move one differently on the track, which saves you like 6 cycles over the course of the process.
Alright, and this is probably 6T'd, so let's see what the final swing looks like. Oh. Whoops. Let's have a look at that again.
Oh, it's even coded out to be looping. Like it puts the piece to the side.
Nice that it beats my 55G solution. That one ended up being 131 cycles.
Nice. Yeah, it's probably the second region idea, I'm guessing, that takes this over the others.
Mine had 2 regions, but in a much worse layout.
That's cool. Alright, yeah, because it's probably took time and effort, and it's really cool. But it's not Min. I'm sorry to report, for those of you that missed it. I know it's a terrible feeling when you think you have Min and you missed Min. Okay, but with that, we will move on to Min cost. 50G was not easy, just to warn you all. There's going to be quite a few ways to do it. Firstly, in 12th place, we have a new submitter going by the team name Morse Technologies. Well done on hitting... Wait, where's the... the D-bond is way out here, what?
How is that possible?
Alright, this I have to see.
What?
Whoa. I'm like, wait a sec, did you just like overlap a 40G into a... No.
This is a Caliuresis showcase?
No.
Oh no.
No, this is a new
Caliuresis
submitter,
has this idea.
So, this is the username 6 and a couple of friends who helped them out. What is this shape?
I'm so excited right now. What is going on?
I'm
What is
thrilled.
this?
When the cost is min.
Scaffolding madness.
This is a massive W. A massive dub.
This is an amazing debut. Holy god.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
The
I could see it.
The center spine is correct, and the other 2 spines are for grabbing it. And so the debonder gets to be at the far side so that the center spine breaks off.
Beautiful.
Hold up, I want to get this. Alright, I just want to point out there is like a few wrong ones at the beginning as setup, but then it turns into the correct one, and it's just gonna debond once at the end.
I wonder if this was... I think 40G is possible, but I didn't realize that you needed to stay in the height. Because this structure in 40G gets you a complete overlap with the output with all correct, but it's got a molecule that goes outside the height.
You're completely right. If it's not for the quirky way infinities are registered and validated, this would be like a working 40G, which I don't think many people could have like figured out something like that. Honestly.
thing of beauty.
This also is like the C strats from Golden Thread taken to the extreme of extremes. Because the closing piece of your C is like 30 tiles away.
If I said like min cost, but you're only allowed to use the debonder once in the entire solution, I don't think we would have had like 12 people get it.
I wouldn't have gotten it. I would have just made what I made and then said, nope, I failed your challenge.
Straight up, this looks way harder than the actual min cost challenge. Oh, this is amazing. It just validates once at the end. I hate that this is the slowest 50G, because this deserved, like, top 3 minimum.
This wins a lot of things, even if it's 12th on the list.
It may not have won, but it is current MVP. Okay, moving on. It's my solution, because usually when I'm playtesting I don't care about secondaries, and totally thought I would be the slowest 50G. Okay, so mine isn't as wild as Moore's Technologies, but I do also have the C thing going on. Judging by everyone else's cycle counts, I don't think anyone else bothered with an idea like this. Actually, the next one might, but other than the next one, probably no one else.
These are a couple of C's. What is going on?
Okay, alright, things will become very clear shortly.
I see. Okay, I definitely see.
Yeah, so it's like entered a looping state. It just has to constantly form and break the second C. So yeah, you can see the correct one here. And this is just like a bunch of dummy... This is the dummy stick.
I'm dummy stick.
Wow.
You could solve 2 copies of the product at once.
Yeah, you almost could, because I don't bother trying to get the right ones, but maybe there's a way to do that. But yeah, so central question, you got one arm, no track, a debonder you can put wherever you want, and I really do mean wherever you want. But the central problem is that you only have access to 2 of the 3 hexes. How do you get access to that third one? You do it by making a weirdly shaped molecule and you like clump it and then you kind of finish with a stick. That wasn't the best description, but it was a description. Just like how my solve wasn't the best cost solve, but it's a cost solve.
In my experience, it's like there were always 2 of the bonds in the stick that were easy to make, and one that was a lot harder and required you do something dumb. Maybe that's just my method though, because both of the ones we've seen so far are very different from what I found.
Yeah.
And yeah, stick walking.
It was stuff, yeah, the stick walking kills the cycle count. Yeah, it was stuff like this and what we saw from Moore's Technologies that made me not want to do instruction secondary, because like because you have these ideas which couldn't possibly loop, which are cool. I didn't program mine out to loop though, unfortunately. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna open Twitch chat on my phone so I can keep up with the comments, and then we can move on.
Mora did point out that Mr. Puzzle started out with a 3,000 cycle min cost, so we have had slower, it just didn't make it into the final list.
3,000!
That might be submitted as GUR.
Oh, okay, yeah, was that a showcase submitted?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's probably why I didn't see the cycle count.
I'll double check quick.
That's alright. Okay.
No, site doesn't save the metrics.
Nah.
This showcase, so.
Alright, where was we? Okay, in 11th... So in actual 11th place, we have Team Not Jasper, which I keep thinking isn't a team, but is definitely still a team. My apologies to Team Not Jasper. I will not make this as... I'm just going to assume you're a team unless I hear otherwise next week. A lot of red bonds being made.
Yeah, this solution is entirely Hollow Jaspers. The only influence that I had was I made a 55G solution, and their initial solution was a 60G that needed 2 debonders. So that inspired them to figure out how to fix that.
Yeah, I'm still not.
This 2-layer scaffolding looks familiar. This is the one of the bonds that's harder to make than the other issue.
Okay, so it's kind of going out of its way to try and get the grey bonds. I assume that means the red and yellow ones will be easier.
I hope so. Unless this is a 4-layer scaffold. It might be. Like,
No.
it depends what's about to happen. Is it going to add another layer below this one, or is it going to extend the existing last layer into the final
No,
outfit?
okay, yeah, those are way easier to make than the grey bonds.
Oh, that's slick. That is slick.
Okay, yeah, it's extending this layer. That makes sense. That's cool.
Just
That's cool.
swoops right in.
Oh, that's nice. That's quite nice.
Elegant.
So, one thing I saw pop up quite a few times this week, I'm gonna have to, like, fast forward a bit here to that last part. So, one thing I noticed a fair few people kind of had to deal with was, like, sometimes you could make solutions with methods that made all the bonds, but, like, in the wrong order. So, instead of, like, red, grey, yellow, it was, like, red, yellow, grey. The way to fix that was to literally just flip the solution. Like if this solution had that problem, I would put it here, and it would suddenly it would work, were it not already correct the other way around. That is to say, you could probably mirror this with like Panic's mirror tool or something, and have like everything work the other way around. You could probably save a grand total of 4 cycles. Which absolutely will not matter in the scheme of things, but that's how you fix that problem. If you don't want to bother mirroring it, you can just flip it, have it build from the other end of the stick.
Yeah, like rotating the triplex bonder doesn't change this clockwise order of bonds, but rotating the solution or the output does.
Kind of an interesting chirality dilemma, because it's not as much of a dilemma as it usually is. Yeah. Those are the other...
Your
Sorry.
Twitch chat's being cruel to someone. They got auto-modded.
Auto-modded? Alright, let me actually open... Oh, why is so many people getting auto-modded? I don't have an... Ugh. Alright. I'm gonna keep a closer eye on the, Is there a way to turn that off?
I don't know it if there is.
Show messages caught by auto mod.
Some key feature of the ignition cord puzzle is actually a banned word on Twitch.
What's a banned word on Twitch?
I have no idea. They're just guessing. Is it mirror? Is it triplex?
Okay, I'm just gonna turn off filtering for now. I think that'll
Cool,
fix
everyone
it.
post your nastiest ideas.
Okay. Whoops, closed Twitch. Okay, I just turned auto moderator off. I think I've turned it off, so I don't think that'll be a problem for the rest of the stream. I was wondering why there were so few comments coming through on my phone, but yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. With that, we will move on to our top 10. In 10th place, coming in at 609 cycles, we are taking our drops. It is Cuckoo 52. And I guess now's as good a time as any to ask people who they think will be in the top 3.
It'd be cool to see Morbius or whatever the Revix Morikanda Mr. Puzzle team is.
So in my solution parser, I named them Mr. Morbius. That's the team name you're looking for.
All right, I'm betting Morbius at the top. Mr. Morbius. I don't think I have a fast algorithm. I think I just got 50 and was happy. So I'd be surprised if I'm in the top.
Okay, so we can see this slowly forming the correct stick. Oh, that's different from the first one. Wow.
This is an entirely separate algorithm that reuses its Cradle atoms as output atoms.
I do like there's no wastage.
This is looping, or at least this has the potential to make a looping option. I think this can't loop because it is starting differently, but it's the idea behind it loops instead of requiring a phase and then a new phase.
There could be a way to loop it conditionally that just so happens to waste cycles, so it wasn't implemented, but there's probably a way to do it.
Yeah, similar to the golden thread cost. I thought it was amazing the first time I saw Rolani's looping golden thread min cost solved, because these min cost crazy ideas that also can be made to loop if you're patient and smart just blow my mind.
Alright, that definitely does not loop, because, yeah, crashes next cycle. This is a cool Cradle idea. No wasted atoms. I see Rubik's predicting Biggie in the top 3. Biggie is, after all, a cost main, as we all know, so I think that's a reasonable guess.
I'm probably 9. I'm in the high 500s. There's not much more to go.
Alright. I like how we've yet to see the same, idea twice. Alright. This is a banger metric so far. I'm loving these. Okay. Coming in at 2 cycles quicker in 9th place, we have Fiesta 618.
Ooh, 2 cycles. How?
Does not look like the same idea. This will be interesting. Did you just happen to be really close?
This has so one of the things that I noticed is if you're going to make a big stick and then break it off at the end, your debonder almost has to be pointed directly away from the fixed arm. So this is not doing the final phase break off. It's doing a lot of breaking off in the middle, just from the layout.
This thing here, this kind of cup to make the bond, that was something we did see in Cuckoo 52s, but other than that, it's not the same. So yeah, I guess if someone were to ask me, categorically, how do you get min cost on this puzzle? You really do. The answer is scaffolding, obviously, but beyond that, it's kind of difficult to tell someone how to figure this out. Yeah, I don't know.
This one does seem to be breaking something off at the end, but it's only connecting it to the other layer with bonds at one angle, except for the one at the very end. So I guess it doesn't have the conflict of you'll have to put the atoms where the arm is to break it off.
Yeah, so I guess the key to, like, I don't know, describing to someone how to get min cost is to take advantage of the fact that you can build molecules in whatever shape you want and try and manipulate the shape of the molecule to get the bonds in that you otherwise couldn't. It's not an easy thing to do. It is far from easy. I am honestly surprised so many people figured it out.
I think this was on the tricky end of dubious cost.
I fully agree.
While not being like ridiculously hard or obnoxious once you figured out a trick, you could program it to completion if you got something that worked.
Yeah,
so this is the sweet spot of dubious cost. Dubious cost is just a cost algorithm that isn't obvious from looking at the glyphs and placing them down.
Something that surprised me, because when I did the puzzle, I thought min area would be easier than min cost, but I guess I can tease that more people got min cost than they did for min area, at least if I'm remembering correctly. Okay.
Yeah, I think Rebix gets to make the claim as to what actually dubious cost is, because recently they've kind of, it's sad that we haven't had a dubious cost week as we have a dubious cost week, just because they understand it so well that it's not dubious at all to them.
Alright, I'll tell you what, Rebix, we're just gonna I'll tell you what, we'll just make Celestial Thread one of the weekly weeks, and then we'll have a dubious cost.
That's the one that is still not proven false, but also isn't at min?
Yes, yeah, that's the one that we haven't, that's like the one that we haven't figured out yet as a community. I guess that's as good as any of a definition of dubious cost. Have we actually figured it out yet? Okay. Oh yeah, Fendi brings up a good point that this puzzle kind of doing rust removal in the tournament would have helped you figure out min cost for this puzzle, because it's quite similar ideas of like building some scaffolding and like building a second stick along so that you can get the things, in this case the triplex bonds. In rust removal it was the projection, but yeah, that's a very good point.
It's like a weird hybrid of rust removal and improved explosive file, which was week 1 of the previous year and had like triplex bonder waste.
Yeah, improved explosive file is the other puzzle that this kind of evokes.
Both of which are week 1 of a tournament, and both of which my title gives the reference to.
We should have made it week 1 of the weeklies. Oh well. Okay, and with that, I'm sure Biggie won't be surprised to hear that next up is Team 42 at 582 cycles.
Yep, that's what I was like ready for it to be a segue into my solution that's literally titled Improved Rust Removal. Calling out improved explosive file and rust removal.
Okay, so it's the same. So it's the same general idea as
Jaspers.
as not Jaspers, where you can see this grey bond is made first because it's, I'm assuming, the painful one.
Oh no, this is all scaffolding. The first thing I'm building is 2-layer scaffolding, and then I'm adding all of the atoms to it in the last pass.
Well, so none of these are used.
What was that?
So none of these are actually part of the product.
Correct. I'm building 2-layer scaffolding because I need scaffolding with a hole in it to be able to add the atoms I want to add.
Oh no.
And I need to hold it from the other side.
Oh, I see. Oh, you've like carved out little pockets that the arm can exist in. Oh my god.
Yep, exactly. I basically diagrammed this to Genius in our DM. So like, I need an arm to be here without something running into it. So I'm going to build a snake. And the snake didn't work because it got debonded. So I just built an extra piece on the reinforcement side, and then it worked.
Oh my god.
But
That
yeah, there's
is-
enough stick walking in this tour. I'm like, this can't be fast enough. But it's my 50 gold, and so I found it.
That's awesome. Yeah, so it's actually not very. It ended up not being very similar to. Not all that similar to Not Jaspers anyway. God, that's wild. Alright. Coming in at 7th place, we have Goodbye Galaxy. Okay.
Oh yeah, I was like 100 cycles away before I would be able to actually move up a place.
Oh yeah, another drop by the way, everyone. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Alright, we're seeing the right ones here being made. Okay, so that's actually just a clever idea to get the yellow bond on. So you can see the grey, red ones are the easy ones. It's the yellow one that's the hard one, but it's a really clever idea to get the yellow one on because, as you can see, it's kind of primed to have it bonded like that. And he kind of fills in the gap so that he can debond this later on.
I gotcha. And then this one has a 2-layer debonding step at the end, but the debonder is set up so that it can do that. So this is just going to stick walk to fix it at the end.
Yeah, and I assume like these also get bonded so that the stick walking like doesn't mess up.
Like even the intention to put an atom into that gap is to make them be bondable. Like you would have no other reason to put an atom there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, okay, alright, he has to actually just make all the bonds first. And now he's gonna debond with stick walking at the end here.
Oh, okay, so there's still 2 passes of stick walking. Maybe it should be... I don't know, is there an idea that avoids that second stick walk?
That's a good question, Biggie.
We're in 7th, there's 6 chances to find out.
So, already below 500. Alright, I guess with that I should probably move on. In 6th place, returning to the weeklies, it is good to have a solution from your brother Mojo. At 450. So yeah, it kind of, now it quite resembles kind of both an improved explosive file and rust removal, in that you have to try and find a way that does it with minimal stick walking and minimal scaffolding, which is, yeah, going to be, yeah, very complicated. It's a very complicated secondary. It's very unclear how to like optimize to, you know, improve your algorithm or whatever.
This is very Cuckoo 52 solve like.
It is, where the scaffolding
It's not
being reused.
leaving a lot of extra scaffolding on the board.
That's a way to get rid of the stick walk. That is a way to get rid of stick walking. Could be worth keeping in mind. Who knows? Why are people in chat saying stop the drop, sorry?
Dropping the cycle count, I presume.
Oh.
Like when it jumped from 580 to 490, the Morbius team was like, stop the drop, stop the drop.
It's got
We'll find your split in it.
This drop phenomenon where the metric keeps dropping and making people uncomfortable. It's happening so often now that...
To be fair, we're dropping secondary right now.
Sure, yeah.
Everyone who got 50 gold got 50 gold. There's no drop in gold from here.
Yeah, that is definitely the least amount of scaffolding so far. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, it's just that one atom. It's just that one fire atom that gets
And
constantly
it gets
reused.
brought back in as scaffolding every time. It never gets added to the output.
Alright, what happens to it at the end, though? Oh, it just stays there. Just never gets to be part of the stick. Has to, like, watch all of its friends.
Uniquely important. It's still good. It's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
That one item probably got grabbed, like, 50 times or something. Maybe not 50, but yeah, many a time was it grabbed. Alright. That's 6th place. In 5th place, we have Mr. Morbius. It's not Morbillion's place.
Yeah. The drops were too real.
Pondering the Morb. I love how memey it is.
it's awesome. All right, what was the team what was the team experience like, Mr. Puzzle?
It was a lot. I really enjoyed it because, like, I didn't have to try and do the whole thing myself. So, like, it was nice to be able to, like, take turns on working on it and, like, bouncing ideas off of people. I really enjoyed it.
More in chat saying that she just wanted the team to figure it out, not experienced enough to do the same magic.
So how did this how did this one come together? This is a weird idea. Hold up.
So
yeah, the gaps in Goodbye Galaxy Solve are being fixed by just connecting pieces back to themselves.
So, I believe the way this started off was I threw together a 50 gold solve to be like, look, 50 gold, we can do it. And then I believe it was Rebix that came up with this particular method of scaffolding. The solution that I started off with, I doctored up a bit and submitted as a showcase. But it was a lot different than this. This is far more what I had. Because I had a whole ton of intermediate scaffolding shenanigans. Kind of similar to that lone atom in that one solver here.
I do like, for a brief time, it's kind of scaffolded on both sides. Yeah, this is complicated scaffolding. I like how that saves cycles. You don't instead of doing a Goodbye Galaxy did and just filling in the gap with a fire atom, they just like debond and rebond together at the end, so you only have to lock the stick once. So this is a good answer to Biggie's question when we had Goodbye Galaxy Solve show up and it did 2 stick walks. How do you get rid of one of the stick walks? You just debond and rebond the gap to atoms.
Yeah, it's really cool that the scaffolding is measurably shorter at the end because it gets compressed.
Alright, so coming up next, a non-competitive author solution. So if anyone wanted to know what the author medal is, it's 409 cycles by Rolamni.
But Rolamni was also playtesting at least 3 metrics.
That is true, yes. He did, once we agreed on a secondary, it was like, okay, alright, we're gonna do cycles secondary. And Roland was like, okay, let me try and optimize this for cycles then, after we agreed on that.
Yeah.
So I think his used to be much slower as well, but then, yeah, once we agreed on secondary, he was like, okay, let me try and get like a decent author medal solution.
Yeah, though I didn't optimize cost that much, I think. But yeah, it turned out to be decent.
It was area secondaries you really improved a lot on, wasn't it?
Yeah, and even we didn't discuss cycles until very late, I think. I
Yeah.
think I started with area cost and area instructions, and only did area cycles after a long time.
One thing I will say is that this puzzle's probably the most diligently playtested we have. Like, Rolomni, you're a very good playtester for your puzzles.
I mean, I had this puzzle lying around for probably over a year by now. But yeah, I playtested it only this year.
When did you first come up with the puzzle?
Metric cycles for blocks.
Sorry, when did you first come up with this puzzle? How far back was it?
It was on my list before Explosive Finger Trap.
Oh wow, yeah, that is almost exactly a year ago, I think.
And Explosive Finger Trap was when I came back to the Weeklies, so I don't know how much earlier I really thought of it already. It was probably right after the tournament last year.
Kelly Reese is saying, I'm surprised the amount of scaffolding doesn't correspond more with cycle time, but I guess the extra moves to use less scaffolding makes up for the stick walking and extra atoms. Yeah, stick walking... The stick walking is one of the things that, like, really kills the cycle secondaries for this. Because I do remember that was, like, the entire idea behind rust removal cost. It was just try and make something with the least amount of stick walking. One thing I really like about Rolomni's is how, like, it looked... Because when I made my 800 cycle beasts, and Rolomni showed me this, it was like, oh my god, that was so much nicer and easier and more elegant.
I somehow never considered stick walking, I don't know why. I always replace them.
I was immediately thinking of things that look like rust removal once I considered how 50 gold would look. So seeing all of these that just reuse all their atoms is a totally different paradigm than I had in mind.
Yeah, you showing me your GIF and saying you know what I did with the first part, I was like, yeah, totally not.
Yeah, oops. I kind of assumed, like, well, I'm showing me adding all the atoms. Therefore, you can infer that I started out by building the scaffold. And maybe that's not everyone's fault.
Alright, and with that, we will move on. In fourth place, coming in at 406 cycles, we have Ebonov. Ebonov mentions not being able to mirror triplex. That's the one thing that doesn't mirror, unfortunately, is the actual triplex bonder itself. This was very similar to, who was it? Brother Mojo's, wasn't it? Except with this idea that Goodbye Galaxy had to pre-build 2 of the atoms and then like have the stick come in, giving you that difficult to make gray bond. So we're seeing a couple of players' ideas get combined. We can see the minimalistic scaffolding from Brother Mojo, but also this idea that Goodbye Galaxy had with the pre-building 2 atoms and then throwing the stick on it on the angle that just so happens to work out nicely. Yeah, it's I see Brother Mojo mentioning the indirect bonder. I do remember. I don't know if this applies perfectly to ignition core, but I do remember for rust removal, having the debonder like here was actually a terrible idea for the cycle secondary, because like your arm kind of gets in the way of its own molecule, whereas having like an indirect debonder, you can have like a much chunkier stick come along, and you can like make the debonding that you need to debond a lot easier. Or you could be like Moore's Technologies and put the debonder way over here, like an absolute madman.
Still probably the coolest reveal I've seen.
That is still the coolest solution. I'm sorry, everyone else. There's a cool solution so far. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and guess not many people correctly figured out top 3. In third place, at 402 cycles, we have Team Gecko Deer,
Nice.
consisting of Gecko and Fein Deer.
Joe. It's getting really tight. Are we going sub 400?
Oh, we're seeing this idea return. Yeah, so we saw this in a lot of the early 50G solutions, but yeah, this pivot to get the cup to have it bonded on that tricky third triplex bond.
Yeah, and it works because you can be pretty lax with what bonds you allow between the 2 layers if your debonder is there.
Yeah, having it pointing directly away from the arm is actually not something we've seen yet. I don't think anyone else... Has anyone else?
Mine was directly away.
Oh, okay, yours was.
It was essential for my algorithm to work because I was making bonds indiscriminately between the layers.
Right, okay. So imagine this is kind of... This idea, this solution kind of represents an idea that's on the same train of thought as what Team 42 came up with, but way less scaffolding and just kind of more refined in terms of cycles.
Yeah, exactly. This is a very good idea, and it's so much cleaner. I like it.
Yeah, this is very nice. And again, it doesn't look that complicated to figure out. And you look at it, you're like, oh god, why didn't I come up with that? I think I remember, if I remember correctly, because when Feindeer submitted separately, yeah, the solution title for Feindeer's first solve was Min G, but I don't think I'll optimize cycles. And the cycle count was already down to 450.
It's a great first approach then.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, wow. If that's not optimizing cycles, yeah. Optimizing cycles is going to be scary. But then teamed up with Gecko, and they got the cycle count down. Didn't quite get it under 400. But the next solve will. Coming in second place at 390 cycles. Spect 98. Very obvious shout out to rust removal in the title.
Yeah, the winner of rust removal in second here.
Oh, same layout. We finally had a repeat layout. It only took like 12. It only took 10 solutions, but we have a repeat layout. Okay.
It gets the yellow on the way out. That's really funny. Like,
so it makes the red one
instead of having to make the
first.
cup, it just doesn't bond them. And then it pulls that in and gets the yellow on the way out.
Yeah, so it just doesn't bother with the bond, and then it goes ahead and makes the red one first, and then you get that nice swing that gets the yellow one on perfectly. I can see, yeah, I can understand why this is slightly quicker. That's really neat. Mark Honda asking who won. You will be surprised. You will be surprised both by who won and by how much they won by. It was actually a blowout, if you can believe it. In first place at 332 cycles, Calliuresis.
What?
Calliuresis is here.
Calliuresis.
Our last day improvement from 460.
Yeah, they were sitting on like 460 or something. This was submitted with like a few hours to go.
Oh shit.
They were the first time I heard from them was during the Nightmare Fuel stuff. But they seemed like they clearly knew what they were doing, and I was excited for a solo arrival, and this was amazing.
Were they? Oh, did Calliuresis? Was Calliuresis a part of Philosopher's Catalyst or Martial Regulus?
All of them answer in chat. I'm not going to try to look it up and figure that out. They're here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it might. I think it predates Nightmare Fuel. But nevertheless, okay. I guess we should talk about the solution themselves. But I guess like Calliuresis, this is amazing. You destroyed everyone on secondary.
Yeah, basically wasteless, so no stick walking, and also the debonder is close to the triplex bonder, saving on so many cycles.
Yeah, so it bears a resemblance to what Brother Mojo and who was the other I think it was Ebenov?
And Rolomni. And
Yeah.
Cuckoo 52 even, like everyone who's done that.
The minimal scaffolding idea.
Yeah.
It's just a better algorithm though.
Lightning fast.
This everyone talking about like the difficult third bond, and this solution's just like, what difficult third bond? They're all easy. Okay, so it's probably the yellow one that is the quote-unquote most difficult. Oh, that's how it's done. Oh, that's cool.
They unbond a double bond and then they rebuild it as yellow. That's what Brother Mojo meant. The extra bond, debond, rebond. So the awkward bond. There we go.
So you can see, yeah, you can see the second red bond, which is a bit of a dummy bond, but crucially, this, you get rid of this bond now, this molecule is still intact because the one scaffolding atom, which lets you just go back and forth. That's how you get the third one on, and the other two are the easy two. So, like, it's almost like there is no hard third one.
Super secret tech.
That is incredibly tricksy. Oh, that is cool. That is
Really
cool.
impressive. Wow.
Yeah, Morikonda saying, yeah, this is the kind of solution that makes you go, dang, I could have thought of that. But like, there have been a solid 6 or 7 solves that have made me think, dang, I could have thought of that, but I didn't think of any of them. Like, it's just super clever. Yeah, 58 cycle blowout. That is awesome.
Especially after all these close 400-ish cycles and then just blow out. Really nice.
Yeah, it was all like banking up around 400, and then like this solution is just like the promised land. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. All right. That wraps up cost. That was a great start to the stream. All right, let me boot up the area parser.
Meanwhile, I'd like to evaluate some bets. So, I had a bet that me and my team, amongst us, would submit a solution that would have the criterion that that Rubik's had secretly told Zorflax.
Yes.
So, and then Rubik's had a bet with that same criterion about whether or not anyone would have that condition. So, what was the condition?
All right. So the condition as it was stated was a cost solve with like a single trackless arm and a triplex. Like just one. The key criteria is one arm, no track, triplex. I'm not actually. It was never clearly established, because this is a question I couldn't ask Rubik's during the week, whether or not a debonder was part of the bet.
So she was only betting on cost solves. I think Morbius is talking about area here.
Was it area?
No,
it was
I
cost.
think it was. I believe it was any solution, but if it was exactly one trackless arm and one triplex, then that would be a 40G min cost solve, unless you were using a multi-arm. But
yeah, Mr. Puzzle and I were talking a bit about proofs that 40G were impossible. Mr. Puzzle had an elegant idea that nearly worked but didn't quite work, but I think the crux of it is that, like, if you, like, because without a debonder, you can't make any wrong bonds, you just have to build this straight. The question then becomes, how the hell are you getting an atom here, like, without making a wrong bond? Or like having the stick, having the stick pointed like this. Like, how do you get the stick in that position without a wrong bond? The answer is you don't.
If you could build outside the height of the output, then something like a quick catch them it would work, but that's not allowed.
Well, yeah, as Moore's technologies showed us, like, if the height thing wasn't checked, like, you could totally do it in 40G without the height check, but it's the height check that really kills it, because that's where you kind of have to make the wrong bond.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, so Rubik's bet was... Alright, so Rubik's bet did not include the bonder, so... Yeah, so it's basically... The bet was basically speaking that 40G was impossible. Which it is.
alright. Teaspoon of dirt it is.
Whoa!
Why?
Okay, I'm gonna be back in about 30 seconds. I gotta take something out of the oven real quick.
We're bad at gambling here on Opus Magnum.
Oh.
Zorflax unboxing his tissue casserole.
I'm not eating the dirt straight though, so.
You know, I used to go to this place when I was younger, and I remember it like it was the best dessert a 6-year-old could dream of. It was Oreo cookie crumbles and pudding with gummy worms, and it was a worms and dirt dessert. I loved it.
Oh, those are good. mixed it in with enough food that the taste is not bad, but the texture is interesting. Because I got like taco meat and cheese and like some sour cream, basically. So for the most part, it tastes normal until bite down and you get like the gritty, like.
That just viscerally bothers me. Good luck.
Okay, I'm back. Biggie will be pleased to hear that I brought a tissue back up with me.
I was saying that you're going to get your tissue casserole out of the oven.
Tissue casserole. Okay. Alright, with area, we will be starting in 16th place with Cadspen at 45 area.
Oh, single triplex bonder.
Okay, so the central problem in this particular area puzzle is that when you're making the stick, there's like normally without hijinks, there's no way to do it with like one stick that's like traveling only horizontally, which is a problem because if you have it move up or down, it takes up a lot of area. As you can see here, this will all be taken up. The question is there a way to do it without this area being eaten up?
Yeah, is there a way that doesn't take 2 times the width? If you asked me on my own, I would have just stopped somewhere in the 40s and that would be my solution. I'd be like, okay. I used 2 triplex bonders in my first solve, which was a bit smaller than this, but not that much smaller. It was still over 40.
But yeah, with with solutions that assume that you have to move the stick up and down and have all this area eaten up, it's there's a few different like if you just go ahead and assume that there's no way around that, you get quite a few methods involving like 1 or 2 triplex bonders. Yeah, the solution space gets a little weird. Not that weird, but yeah, just a little weird. Yeah, we'll watch this validate one more time.
Yeah, the core idea here, though, that this solution is using to prevent, having an infinite stick in 3 different directions, is to at least build 2 of the bonds while the the molecule is small, and then connect them to the infinite with only horizontal motion.
Hmm. Okay. Coming in at 15th place, also on 45 area, but beating the other one on cycles is Rubik's. Yeah, this is a good example of a solution that it looks like a really good area solve with the stipulation that that the stick itself eats up 2 height.
Yep. The whole idea of avoiding those hexes requires insight that it took me until Genius told me an area primary number that I was like, you got what? For I thought I didn't know that was an option to avoid them.
I think this solution could have been much smaller if they just better case the last output and slide it over once more with an extra fire atom. Would be, I think, 43 maybe.
Right, if you build like a dummy one on the end.
Yeah. This move down gives it 3 additional area, which could be avoided on the 6th product.
Also, I will say once again, very short tape loop, very nice tape loop. That is something that this has going for it. Oh, I missed it, sorry. So I'm just, I'm trying to get to that bit that Rolami's talking about. Just to show you what he means.
Also, you can just change the layout and have it looping with the 42 area.
Yeah, it would need to be 60.
Yeah, it would need to be
You don't
60 though,
need to be
which is...
60. You can just rotate the right triplex bonder 180 degree and move the output left once. Then it should be 42 area.
Right, so yeah, what Rolami's saying is that from this position, instead of moving it back down, you just, because this is the exact length required. This will validate if it's over the output hex. If you throw an extra bond here, like a second red bond, you can just slide it across and it'll still validate. And that, yeah. I will say though, let me just actually not fly through it. I will say though, this sequence here, where it like moves across and pivots, is like a really nice quick sequence to get the bonds on. I do really appreciate that. This is a nice solve to watch, and looked like it was nice to program. Rubik's was rubber ducking me a lot this week, which I really appreciated. It was really cool to hear her thoughts as the solution kind of evolved, because yeah, it did a lot of evolving to get to this point, and like yeah, I don't want her to feel like her hard work was invalidated, because there were lower area solves, but this is really cool. Thank you for submitting Rubik's. I really appreciate it. We will move on though. Coming in at 14th place, we do drop 3 hexes down to 42 to Team Not Jasper. Okay, this is an approach. Okay. It's kind of funny with the area for this puzzle, how much people were talking about height. I say this is a 4 height solution, but it's kind of figuring this out as a height puzzle. It's actually very informative for area, which is funny. There's not usually this much overlap between height tech and area tech, but for this puzzle there is a lot, which will make Madmaster 5000 very pleased.
Yeah, so my initial solution was a 44 area with a tape loop that was only 9 long.
Wow.
It was really fast. And I just called it definitely not min area.
You know, as soon as it was easy to program, you're like, no, okay.
It's a difficult puzzle because Rolomni made it. So if I found something that feels easy, I am wrong.
This is a very safe assumption to make. I kept describing this puzzle as more difficult than it looks. And I think is quite validated. Because, yeah, a lot of people hit the mins, but, like it took a lot of people a while to hit those mins. Sorry?
It was 53 cycles.
Wow!
For to solve.
9 long tape loop, 53 cycles.
Sheesh.
That almost qualifies for the bonus third metric we got, which we'll talk about later on.
The tricycles.
Tricycles. I can't believe we went so long without using that name. It's such a good name.
I was still kind of salty about everyone jumping against like Katrin because that was what someone had called it, and then I named myself that. And everyone's like, "That's a terrible name, Biggie. You're dumb." Then tricycles came to the rescue.
Biggie, that idea is completely invalid. What are you doing?
I understand. Thank you.
Oh, and just for fun, this solve actually will loop.
Oh yeah, I've been resetting after.
You love to see it.
Oh, that's what this is about. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, it puts it there. I see. I see. And that will just loop indefinitely. Nice. Okay. In 12th place... Oh, wait, sorry. I don't want to skip ahead there. In 13th place, at 41 area, Spect98. Titled his solution, "What is the trick?"
That's a feeling you might have if you're at 41 area.
I'm imagining a few people being surprised and relieved to his Spect98's name being called out so early.
I mean, yeah, you don't find them all. Like, I would have almost, like... I basically was at risk of doing this if not on a team, being in the same situation of, like, I made a 40-something solve and I thought it was okay because I didn't find the trick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just to reiterate, this was a hard puzzle.
This is doing good reuse of its space, too. I want to see how far the Equilibria go on the right.
Oh, they, one short, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, like the track is made full use of, and there are, like, atoms that swing over the track, which is good reuse, and then there are swings like this, which don't eat up any extra area, which is always nice to find. This is good area. This is quite good area technique. Just minus the trick, unfortunately. Alright. In 12th place, still at 41 area, but the cycle count drops to 134. We have Evanov.
Oh wow, 2 arms.
That's a lot of track loop. Track hexes.
I mean, why would you place the Equilibrium when you can make use of that space?
This is a good point, yeah. Yeah, while you're using all this space, you may as well make use of it. Also, short track loop. Tape loop, sorry. And it loops. Wow, this is quite nice. Looks nicely, short tape loop. Very nicely built. So yeah, the solution space for these solutions that don't have the trick, it's quite quirky. A solution space. All right, in 11th place, we have the winner of the 41 area solutions. What was the name? Sorry, Fiesta 618 at 85 cycles.
Oh, that's fast. That's really fast.
Very reminiscent to Ebanov's solution, actually. Oh, but gets into this super fast loop, which is quite nice. Uh-oh. Wait, does this loop?
The title suggests it's looping, damn it.
Oh, it does. It got there eventually.
Big stick walking, length 3 stick walking.
Yeah, once you make the first two, you get this really nice steady state. Yeah, it's a super cool steady state, actually. Okay, now I'm guessing some of you are dying to know what the trick is. You'll be glad to know the next solution figured out the trick. In 10th place at 32 area, we have username void. So, what is the trick? The trick is calcification and duplication. The core idea is that you make the You make the triplex bonds, then you calcify the atom so that it can be translated across the triplex bonder, then you reduplicate it after it crosses the triplex bonder.
One of those obvious in hindsight. It's funny the Cadspin's wording. It's so obvious that I hate that it wasn't.
That's like a bit of, that's the theme of the week a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, Genius 42 told me that he had a 32 area solve, and I was sitting on 43. And I just kind of thought to myself for a second, you what? Is that a typo, or am I missing something pretty substantial? And so I tried to do layouts, and I was like, I mean, you could turn things back into fire using Berlow's wheel. That was literally my first thought afterwards. And then I remembered you had the inputs, so you could just turn things into fire using the input. And I was like, that gets low enough. Yeah, Mr. Puzzle also saying this trick, but with a Berlow.
You did a trick with a Berlow.
Because our team, we started with the 40 area solve, and then I was like, oh wait, but you can use a duplicator. Yeah, you can save like 4 area. You just plop a Berlow in and the thing, and then my teammates were like, or, just not do that. Just use a fire atom. But I'm like, see, this is what I like about being on a team.
You two got to find out the easy way how this trick works.
Very true.
I couldn't imagine what I'd feel like if I was like, and at 38 area, the only person here, Mr. Puzzle. Like, yeah, I figured the trick out.
Next up, at 32 area. Wait, what?
Shit.
That actually would have been an obvious improvement, though. No Berlow. I would have sassed you a bit for that, but we're not in that universe. All right. Let's just validate one more time. Okay. Look at the giant length 3 swing at the end. Alright, well, now I guess I'll pop the question in case anyone wants to answer it. Who do you have in your top 3?
I'm thinking it might be Morbid time.
Oh,
Morbin time. I know it's probably not Team 42 because I realized after that we're using one arm. That's slow.
Alright. In 9th place, we have Caluresis.
So no sweep.
Alright, so 31 area. I'll let you all know now, 31 area is the min. Doesn't go under 31. Oh, I found this out the hard way. I'll talk about my experience with that later, but just so you know, 31 area is as low as it gets. From here on out, it is secondaries. Sadly, there was no Animismus trick that gets it down to 24 area. Sorry.
This looks a lot like my 31 that I built before Genius secondary optimized it. Complete with bringing one fire atom out from the source as it swings past and then using that fire atom for the next pass. I do wonder how fast it goes, because 2 arms, if it is something that you can do, will be faster.
It's actually quite a wide solution space, 31 area. Because you get a lot of track to work with. Yeah, one core idea of 31 area, and I guess that applies to my failed attempts at 30, is that you kind of, because of the way the trick works, you always need to build a 3 long stick. Always a 3 long stick, and you need to have it like here to the left of the triplex bonder. See, so these 2 atoms, these 2 hexes are always going to be eaten up by this trick. And then you got the triplex, and then you will have the duplicator, and only then do you have the actual output glyph after that. So you have this long conga line that you need to manipulate. So that'll come into play quite a lot as we explore cycle secondary. How do you make a layout that kind of takes advantage of the used glyphs and the geometry of the solution? Yeah, like how do you calcify the right atoms or whatever? Here we can see all 3 atoms get calcified at one point. Very interesting area puzzle though.
I'm almost a little disappointed that 30 was impossible, because I never looked for it, but I thought 31 seemed like it had some wasted space. And Genius was even saying, yeah, I'm sure we'll learn about a 29 when we get to the results stream.
I am more than a little disappointed that there isn't a 30 area, because I spent like 12 hours looking for a 30. Like I digged deep through the solutions. I really wanted a 30. I so thought it was going to happen. I was going to find it that it was possible. Couldn't get it to work. I just could not. With that in mind, the next submitter might make a little more sense, because in 8th place is Shadow Cluster.
That's surprising, because yeah, more in the chat saying bet on Shadow for area.
And as you can see, the solution title is Dude Flips Table in frustration. My guess is that it's because Shadow Cluster couldn't find a 30, and that he spent time looking for a 30 instead of secondary optimizing. That's my guess. I could be completely wrong about that, but that would seem to make sense.
Shadow Cluster didn't write me what he looked for, but said he didn't put that much time into secondaries and didn't optimize them.
Yeah, to be fair, Shadow Cluster is always about that main primary. Nice nice cost maximization, by the way. You squeezed every... What's the word? It's not gold, it's gilder.
Gilder.
Yeah, that's it. Why wasn't it? Oh, I guess it makes sense in the lore that it's not gold, but that's a stupid name.
Zach made many good things about this game. The name for its currency is not one of them.
To be fair, it's only used like once, I guess. Now, funny enough, when I was going to talk about my 30 area escapades, this solution, this kind of layout, if I get rid of the weird, I'll put these back later, but if I get rid of this stuff, the closest to working 30 area layout was this. This very nearly worked. The only problem... Oh, wait, you actually do need a calcifier here, sorry. The only problem with this layout is that you can't make the 3-long stick and, like, get it calcified properly. That's the only problem. Everything else works.
Problem, I think.
Sorry?
I don't know. I look at that and I think that's the obvious problem, but maybe it isn't obvious.
No, that doesn't... Yeah, there are other layouts where everything, like, except for a different step doesn't work. Usually the problem I found was finding a layout that lets you put the actual stick here, as opposed to having it, like... as opposed to, like, if the piston arm was here, you kind of have to just leave it on the duplicator. Like the stick itself, it never leaves the duplicator. And that ended up being a big problem for most of my layouts. Let me just get rid of... Yeah, let me put everything back. But yeah, I'm not surprised that Shadow Cluster submitted this particular layout because it's the one that was closest to a 30. Yeah, since he has to do like all this stuff here to get the yellow bond. Actually, yeah, there you go. And then you finally can just calcify stuff. But you need that extra hex, unfortunately, to do that. It's really close to working. It just barely does not. All right. Next up, in 7th place, we have at 379 cycles, Team 42.
Yep. This is all Genius 42, I think. With the Critelli being one of the unused hexes, and I think there's one other unused hex. So yeah, left of the calcifier.
Oh, when you say unused, you mean...
Unmarked, yeah.
Yeah.
Ones that you have to run the solution to have get marked.
So this kind of neat, you do leave that fire atom on the duplicator the whole time, so you don't have to worry about like putting anything on a duplicator. You just have things run past the duplicator and you know it'll be a fire atom. You don't have to do any rewrites. Yeah, it's this manipulation of the 3-long stick that proves to be... Yeah, it's hard to do that quickly. In that sense, that was probably the key problem of this area challenge. Of this part of the area challenge, I should say. I keep saying goodbye Galaxy. I think that Genius 42 is a good area optimizer. I had to give him a main metric, it would be area.
Yeah, perfect teamwork, honestly, because that's my weak spot.
I do like that he carried you. It's good that it has gone both ways now. It's good to see. Okay. I guess with that we can move on to 6th place at 367 cycles. We have Gecko Deer. Not a lot of required track here, interestingly. It was difficult to pick a secondary for this puzzle, actually. It could have been, we could have gone one of a few different ways. I posed a question to Rolamni in the weekly chat, but no one ever seemed to have an opinion on it, so I'm like, alright, let's go cycles. But like, it could have been cost secondary, it could have been instruction secondary. I don't know, how did everyone feel about the cycle secondary for area?
I like having cycles as a secondary just because it means that things go fast and it's easier to program.
True.
I think easier to program would be AI in this case, maybe. Usually the areas are looping.
Yeah, I think AI is good at avoiding the 6T problem, but then it introduces a new problem of what if you get lower instructions doing something that's less intuitive?
Oh, this sub 1T, ugh.
This solution, no, this one's 60, I think. Yeah, you can see the tricky parts at the beginning, getting the 3 long stick. Which is handled pretty nicely here, actually. Alright. Coming in at 5th place at 362 cycles, beating this by 5 cycles, is Pizza Luigi. Oh wait, did that work? That did not work. Pizza Luigi, there we go. I do like this idea of a second calcifier too, because you can like put there's potential to put a second calcifier in like a more convenient spot.
Yeah, this second calcifier speeds it up. It's otherwise almost identical to Genius 42's in mine.
Hmm. Having the tracks positioned like this, though, it does give you extra it does give you extra translation room, which is probably why this does eke out the previous solutions. Which is funny because yeah, it's competing against an area solve with 2 arms, and it comes out on top. Okay, we see similar ideas. Let's take a closer look at how it starts. It's actually pretty quick here. So one thing, to this point, we've been seeing when someone makes the 3 long stick, they end up calcifying all 3 atoms. And that was kind of an interesting challenge because in theory, you only need the middle one calcified. But therein lies the rub, because the middle one's the most annoying and painful to calcify. Which incidentally is partly why 30 area didn't quite work, because that was one of your roadblocks, getting that middle one calcified. Alright. Already approaching top 3. In 4th place, coming in at 359 cycles, beating this by 3 cycles, is Cuckoo 52. Right, as you can see here, we're seeing most solutions have like had a calcify here or something. The Cuckoo 52 doesn't need it. Because he knows he only has to calcify the middle one. So when these are bonded, he just, moves it across one, and he knows he doesn't need any more calcifications. But yeah, then when he does start building the next stick, he does a quick little extra extra duplication, just so his stick is actually still valid. Okay. Next up is not third place, but my solve. Down to 345 cycles. I built my stick backwards. Just, I don't know, couldn't be bothered. Trying to build it the right way around, saving a few cycles, but... This didn't feel fast when I made it. Because, yeah, I don't know. This feels like it wastes a lot of cycles, because building the 3 stick is alright, but it's this next part here where all the translation, it's kind of a pain in the ass, because Arm 1 has to slowly drag stuff over, Arm 2 helps a bit here.
It like hurts your soul every time that length 2 arm has to retract just so that it can rotate.
And that. Yeah, no cheeky length 2 swings here, unfortunately. There is one cheeky swing here. I did not loop it. Yeah, it's when 1 makes the grey bond. You get a nice swing there. That's probably the coolest piece of area attack in this solution. I guess having 2 arms is what made this a not bad secondary compared to what most other people did though, which I'm pleasantly surprised about. But from here on out, we're going to take a bit of a nosedive in the cycle count, because in third place at 195 cycles, we have Moore's Technologies.
Oh, nice. Okay, solid debut on both metrics.
Very good debut. This is... Congratulations on top 3. It's a really cool finish.
So we got Moore's Technologies, Brother Mojo, and Morbius.
Ooh, suppression. Input suppression. Nice.
Yeah, and I guess... Yeah, here we're actually seeing a nice fast area solution. Part of the reason is because... Yeah, because 31 area has a forgiving solution space. You can get away with a lot of track. And that track lets you do a lot. And because the used area is kind of in a nice big block like this, you got a lot of there's a few swings you can do. You can be like it's forgiving for your swings, and it gives you flexibility with how you actually build stuff. Yeah, and as Mr. Puzzle pointed out, the input suppression is very cool, because you just use that atom to duplicate. And it's kind of, you're not wasting any cycles with that duplication, because Arm 2 didn't have anything to do anyway.
This is a really impressive solution to me. And probably objectively. I'm impressed.
It's genuinely impressive. This is a great solution, like, for the puzzle, for the metric that is, like, what we're asking of you in this metric. This is a really good answer to that question. Okay, in second place... Sorry, let the solution run. In second place, at 187 cycles, Brother Mojo.
Ooh. Yeah.
Exact same hex is being used, but in a different arrangement.
Oh, this is very similar to your layout, Zorflex, but on the correct side of the output.
It's just mine, but better. Oh no.
And it successfully only calcifies the middle of the 3.
Actually, let me look at the tape loop for a sec. Alright, okay. So if arm 1 grabs and pivots, and arm 2 waits, so let's say it grabs and pivots, but on the same cycle arm 2 swings. Oh no, it doesn't save the cycle, never mind. Because you have to pivot back. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I just thought I saw a cycle save. I'm like, oh, wait a sec. The reason... Sorry?
Judging from how long you waited before you revealed the 1s digit of the cycle count, I think what you might have spotted had it been a real cycle could have changed first versus second.
That is a very good guess, yes. it would have mattered were that a thing, were that a cycle save, but it's not. Before we talk about first place though, we have Rolamni's solution coming in at 185 cycles. Almost the same layout, actually. Yeah, okay.
I think I saved 4 cycles by moving that input. I had 189 before with the fire input up there, and then saved 4 cycles.
Right, so you originally had it up here, but putting it here ended up being faster.
Yeah.
I can believe that, yeah. Because with the way Brother Mojo programmed it, like, there was that thing that Arm 2 had to, like, bring it down and spend a few cycles, but if you have it just down here, yeah. This is making me realize I was a lot closer to a good solution than I thought I was.
Yeah, when I saw your solution at 300 and something, I was like, oh, is 2 arms not actually able to go that much faster? But again, you see things in the order they are presented to you. This is what everyone else who knew could do this already knows.
As I said, I was just interested in secondaries because I'm just like, I want to get that 30, and I never got that 30, sadly. Okay. Alright, it's time. In first place, at 184 cycles, Mr. Morbius. That's right, everyone. It actually is Morbin time.
It is, in fact, Morbin time.
Oh my god, it's a similar idea again. I was like the only one that found a bad iteration of this layout.
I think I even had this layout as well, but I think I discarded it as Arm 2 cannot.
So do you know where the
Yeah,
one
but
cycle
down
is?
to 189 as well. Well done.
I believe I shaved a single cycle near the end, but I do not remember exactly how it went.
Yeah, you guys submitted a 185 and then 2 times a 184.
Alright. Sorry about that. So yeah, do we know exactly where the 1 cycle is from Rolamni's, or the 3 cycles from Brother Mojo's?
I'd have to open up Opus Magnum, maybe look at it
Yeah.
a bit. I think it was towards the end of the tape, though.
Yeah, it's probably something
Maybe
super subtle.
It was either right at the beginning or right at the end.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to tell, isn't it? It could be the end, actually. Looking at this, it could be at the end. I guess I will leave that as an open question to the viewer. Alright, with that, it's time for the showcase. I will be back in 30 seconds. Sorry, I have to answer the door real quick.
That's already announced there are a lot of showcases.
Yeah, this puzzle had a lot of
20?
different avenues you could take. I never made a pure cycles, but I definitely enjoyed both triplex cycles and triplex rate.
I think for this puzzle there are 20 showcases, and then we have the showcases for Nightmare Fuel as well. This will be a long stream.
That's alright. Sorry about that, my roommate was locked out. Okay, let's boot up the solution parser.
You have to be like, I'm sorry you were stuck outside. I was busy discussing achievements on a hexagonal grid.
Or maybe do the puzzle reveals before the showcase, or what is the plan usually?
Oh, I should do the puzzle reveal, eh?
Because of like 20 plus showcases, this would be
Yeah.
a long time.
Oh, we don't have anyone else from the Weeklies community. I gotta actually activate it. Alright. Yeah, here we go, public.
Oh no,
Okay.
I'm looking at this now. Oh.
Okay, I booted up the... I made this active like 5 seconds ago. So it will be on the website now. The puzzle is Servan's Wheel. This is a panic puzzle. The metrics, interesting couple of metrics. One of them is rate. We're having a return to rate. The other is weighted sum. The actual weighting of the sum is a little quirky, but there'll be a heavy emphasis on your cycle count. I can tell you that much. This is
Okay.
almost good feng shui.
This definitely smacks of quintessential medium, but it smacks a little harder.
I have to do this feng shui thing on the spot live. I've been surprisingly good at it, so there we go. All right, that's good. So let's have a look at the website. All right, so the weighting, if you can do this in your head, it's cost divided by 5 plus cycles times 20 plus area. Very ambiguous solution space. Yeah, your normal Psalm instincts probably won't work here, but nevertheless, this should be a cool puzzle. I look forward to all of your solutions. As mentioned, this solution went live on the website like 5 seconds ago. Alright. Let's bid up some showcases.
Should I help Rubik's where he's asking this question? How do the glyphs of quintessence help us here? Since that seems like the basis of this puzzle, or no?
Actually, could I check something? Could you go back to the feng shui picture? I want to check something.
Oh, yeah, you are missing a very important glyph.
The duplication.
Oh, that would help. That would help.
It's in the glyph. It's in the parts tray, right?
It's in the yes.
Yeah,
I can. Sorry, that is a very important glyph. Yeah, no, just disperse your quintessence for no reason, guys. Just disperse it, put it back in the quintessence. It's fine.
How are we supposed to do the animismus trick if you don't include the glyph?
Oh, shit, you're right. Forgot the animismus. Oh, this is gonna be a more boring puzzle without the animismus glyph, eh?
It's alright, you gave us all the instructions, so we can at least do pivot glitch to redeem it.
Pivot glitch.
Anyway, it looks like a neat puzzle, and I got a week off from work, so I might think about it.
Oh. I reckon you're gonna like weighted some. I reckon it's gonna be up your alley. I guess that's the closest single hint I'm gonna give about the solution this week. About the metric.
And here I was planning to go slow.
Okay. Alright, ignition chord showcase. Alright, first up we have a TI solve by Rolami, and I almost forgot I have Zoom mod because of the metrics this week.
I thought the solution said TIS 99 for a second. I was like, what? TIS 100 records.
I thought for a brief minute that there would be a way to like make this particular conga line with 6 instructions, but look a little closer and I'm like, oh wait, damn it, there isn't. Yeah, TI for infinites is always weird and janky.
Yeah, you just have a 2 instruction arm that does up to 6 fix-up steps. Actually, I think for Golden Thread it's even like 11 fix-up steps because it loops around twice before it actually validates.
Yeah, Golden Thread had a pretty clever one. But what was that puzzle in your 2020 tournament, Biggie, with the not quite TI metric, but like the prototype TI?
Yeah, Swamp Fiber.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone did fix it up at the end for that.
No.
Rolomni did an amazing like 148T thing, and Shadow Cluster did a buffered thing, and both of those were brilliant. But no one did this approach.
You managed to avoid that problem in a weird way.
Because the main problem was putting the Moors into the stick, which doesn't really happen in passing.
Yes, I sadly only got the, let's say, normal way down to 10 instructions without fixing anything up at the end.
Okay, Your solution parser doesn't have this in cycles order, which I actually probably should put this in cycles order, but it's in cost order. So how are we gonna do? How are we gonna do tricycles? I could just load them up as they come in, or I could save them all for the end and try and like figure out in my head which one's the best one. I might try and do that. So we're gonna save the tricycles showcases for the end.
Sure, that sounds great.
All right. So next up will be Rolani's height cycles. Don't worry, Mad Master, we got you covered this week. Oh, I like this bit to the end. Yeah, I like that second half a lot. That's cool.
So it's literally building a wand on the second half? Because it can't use that regular wand.
Yeah, it's literally just a wand. Just to like reset the
Yeah, it just speeds up the second half as I don't have to reset one.
Yeah, so now you don't have to reset any. Now you don't have to like. None of the arms have to come out here to drop the stick. It can just like move on its own, and the arms can reset, and that saves a lot of cycles. Because yeah, it builds half of them, and it's already like cycle 40, but then like the other half comes together in under 20 cycles, because it's a really nice steady state. Okay, this one I think I can show because it's not tricycles, but it's a normal cycle solve by Cuckoo52. This, now we're going back to rust removal vibes.
Oh, very much so.
Yep. Oh, and it loops. Very nice. Very nice. I think
It loops, but what it's making isn't the output because it has extra bonds in it, so it doesn't have a rate even if it loops.
You know, actually, let me go back. An alternative
in the wrong direction.
Sorry.
It builds in the wrong direction for rate, anyway. Right?
True.
Right.
That's not going to validate, but you can pretend it's validated, and now it's in the right direction, I guess.
And still has all the extra wrong bonds.
Yeah. So the puzzle we're gonna make was about the wrong bonds, because an alternative version of the puzzle that I floated to Rolani, which ended up being kind of interesting but didn't quite work out, was in version of the ignition core where instead of one of the three bonds, it was two of the three bonds. So you had like red, yellow. So you had like red, gray, red, yellow, yellow, gray, and it's like, and that was alternating.
That makes sense.
There was also interesting in its own right, but it just ended up not quite being as interesting as what Rolani came up with. We playtested that a fair bit, but yeah, we won't show any of those. Your rust has been removed. Okay, Fiesta 618 coming in with a height cycle solve of their own. Don't have the wand thing, so it won't be as fast, but nevertheless. Oh, okay. Secondary wasn't actually taken into consideration. It was just get him in height solve. It was kind of funny. I was wondering if we were going to get a min height solve in area, because it would have been possible to just straight up have a min height solve in area. I think that like has like a decent area count. Sadly, we never got that, but yeah, min area is kind of because it's so easy. You can do a lot with it. Okay, this is a 10-minute job. Once Genius 42 mentioned min height, that makes sense. All right, let's make sure I don't accidentally show tricycles. Another height solve by Caliuresis. Well, it's funny how the one weight. It's funny how the one weight that. Sorry, I'm talking over you.
I was just saying that this is really using the area algorithm.
I was gonna say the one week that Mad Master doesn't have a submission is like the week where we get the most height showcases. Oh, alright. Oh, I think that's tricycle, so I'm going to avoid it. Alright. Next up is Mr. Puzzle's Sum Solve.
Oh, I think, yeah. Mr. Puzzle and Goodbye Galaxy then both have a sum solve for this, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Goodbye Galaxy's in here somewhere. Yes, he is. Okay. Alright. I thought this almost looked like one of the height solves.
I should check. I think my area solve might beat this on some. Oh wait, no, because I use pistons. Yeah, never mind.
The annoying thing about some of this puzzle is the area taken up by the stick. So I guess for those of you who think area doesn't matter in sum, there's this puzzle where you, like a single swing of this is just going to kill your sum score. I do wonder if there's like a solve that like has the stick going like up and down between two rows that you can like engineer to have a better sum.
Wait, huh? Actually, I just checked. Yeah. Okay, so this beats my my area solve by like 4 points.
Wow. Your area solve was faster and smaller, but a little more expensive.
Yeah, 10 gold more expensive, 4 cycles faster, and 4 area. So 2 points actually.
Alright. Alright, our next solution is another sum solve. It is by Goodbye Galaxy. Coming in at 243. Much lower.
Well, that's significant.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we've seen a 2 height stick thing. That's a big track loop for a sum solve actually.
Username Void in chat says that they have a better sum than this.
Okay, next up is we have another sum solve. This one coming in at 240 by Ebenov. Another giant track loop. This is a weird puzzle for some, actually. I never thought about it during the week, but Now I'm looking at this, I'm just kind of wondering what my approach would have been. Okay, the next solution, it's not tricycles, but it's like tri-racles by Evanov. It's also got a really short tape loop, which is quite nice. Okay, so this is a teaser for our tricycles metric that will be shown later on. You can see the basic idea. You're only ever going to use one triplex bonder for tricycles. It's just how many of the bonds can you make as quickly as you can.
So this takes 2 cycles for each individual triplex bond.
Yeah, you can see like there's a 1 cycle gap.
I had
Yeah, I can also see a 6 cycle tape.
I had a like 228 some. I PM'd that to you for DM. Do you want me to submit that to the site or is DM fine?
DM's fine. I can put it in.
Okay. Okay. Not much better, but a little bit better than Ebanov.
Okay. So this is username void sum. Less track. It's probably why this is probably where this wins.
But it's also 410 area. What happens? Is the parser just not... Oh, the parser doesn't have this...
area.
Oh, the parser's putting Ebanov's stuff up. I was just looking at the wrong number.
No, yeah, this isn't, yeah, ignore the top left for this one. I like the low latency finish. That's quite cool. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, it's a very clean match for the 12 cycle loop. Everything is synced.
That's always great to see. Like, yeah, with some puzzles, you don't necessarily aim for like 0 wasted instructions because it's often just not feasible. But when it happens, you're like, oh, nice, awesome. Okay. Alright, Rubik's is up next with an example of what I was talking about earlier, where a 2-height solution but low area. Yeah, I guess it's important that, like, with 2 height, you can just go ahead and bounce the stick up and down between the 2 rows.
Yeah, before the reveal, she was talking about how she had min +1 area with 2 height, and that was under the assumption that her 45 was min. But this is cool to see, because it is actually a 2 height solve now.
I do wonder if, like, the ability to move the stick up and down, I wonder if there's a way to take advantage of that, to have, like, a solution run faster than, like, I guess Rolamni's 59, for example. Oh, Rolamni's 59 does do that as well, actually, with the wand, hey.
Yeah, especially getting this middle bond in needed the extra height.
True, yeah. I guess that was already considered,
really
but
took advantage of that.
this feels like it rounds out the height showcases a lot more nicely, because yeah, this is the other way you would approach height. Okay, next up, Genius 42 with the quick and easy 60 gold showcase. Never actually saw a 60. I was talking about it earlier in cost, but this is what it would actually look like.
That looks good. It's faster than any of the 55 gold because you get to you get to dual wield.
Dual
But it is, of
wield.
course, more expensive.
I will say, someone, it was Rebix, right at the very beginning of the week, submitted a 60 gold, 69 cycle solution. I don't have it here on the parser,
Nice.
but it's nice nevertheless. Well done. Not a very useful factoid there, but you have it anyway. Do what you will with it. Oh, okay. So, next up is Mr. Puzzle's 50 gold, 3000 cycle solution.
Please don't tell me this was 16.
It's 1T.
Oh, good. Oh, Gur with an I, so it's instructions. Good.
Oh no. Oh no.
Get ready for the show. This is some good stuff.
I hate how little it's doing. Oh god.
So this stemmed from my desire of I have a way to do 50G. Like this was the first 50G solve that I submitted. And I was like, well, I need an intermediate though, and I don't want to 6T it. Yep, it conditionally built the scaffold. You're right, Hello Jasper.
Oh, oh no. Oh no, it's got a C thing going.
How many tape loops does it take before it starts placing pieces that become part of the output?
The first tape loop.
Oh, it
builds
just
the-
finished.
The first tape loop does the intermediate. Every tape loop adds another 3 atoms.
Gotcha. Okay. That's a thing.
Wait, so it only runs the tape loop 4 times?
No, there should be 7 loops.
Oh, 7 times, right. Okay. I think I must have missed the first loop. Oh god. God.
Oh wow, Brother Mojo has a 77 instruction min cost.
Nice.
That makes sense given Brother Mojo's method, which had minimal scaffolding.
Yeah, I can believe that. Nothing about this makes sense to me. Just for the record. I'm not keeping up with this. Alright.
Basically, the C shape is to get stuff around the input. And then it's just brute forcing, making each individual bond without accidentally ruining it. Because like I didn't think of the trick in the winning gold solution where it's like, oh, I accidentally double bonded here. Delete, build with correct one. Never crossed my mind.
That was such a cool trick. Okay. I think I actually am following it along. It's not like the most complicated thing in the world. It's just those ghost grabs at the beginning.
Right. Yeah, the ghost grabs are I think I added like 10 or 20% more instructions just so I didn't have to 6T it.
Yeah, I think like other than the first tape loop, it's not actually difficult to follow compared to like all the other cost solves we saw already. Alright, and finally, well not finally because we got to do tricycles, but we have Calyuresis 50G named Dreams of 40G. Oh, is this the idea that Morse Technologies came up with?
It definitely is, yes. I think Ali was talking about that in chat as well while watching.
Oh, it is! Someone else found that idea.
Massive dub.
I can't believe Calyuresis found both this and the winning solution, though.
I think this is a sensible idea to someone who hasn't confronted the infinite validation before.
Right, yeah.
Because if you didn't know that if you went beyond the bond, like if you thought that it only had to be valid up to the connected point at the end of the infinite, then this is correct. It's just the quirks that invalidate it.
Could you imagine if Celestial Thread needed a trick like this to work at 60G or whatever it is? Like it's possible, but you have to do this, but like with like a 4 tall chunk. I don't know, it's gonna be something like that if it's possible.
Yep.
Oh, alright. I'm gonna try and do this in order. Let's see, where will we start? Okay. We start with Morikonda at, what is it? First, second...
I mean, in chat she said something like, oh, the 39 cycles from Evanov was already faster. So...
Okay, well not counting that one, this comes in 5th place. I'll zoom out a bit. There we go. No track though.
Yeah, I guess it's just a bunch of 6 cycle loops and a 7 cycle machine period.
That's a hell of a Critelli though.
Yeah, one of the challenges is getting the thing you just bonded off of the bonder.
The order of bonds are interesting because it makes the middle one first and then the 2 quote-unquote side ones.
Piston 8 exists for Critelli secondary.
Oh, good. Oh, alright. That was the correct decision. That, I guess I can call that Critelli of the Week. Not that that's a thing or anything, but there you go. Critelli of the Week. Alright, in 4th place, we have Cuckoo 52 on 37. But
Oh, I guess that's because the arm that delivers the output is doing something different than what it was doing in steady state.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is also roughly half throughput, except non-looping.
Yeah, I noticed for tricycles, one of the keys was to make sure you had like arms here and here, like on the hexes that give you access to 2 of the 3 triplexes, because it gives you an important swing. We can see, like, this is the swing basically here. You can imagine like another atom going on the very next cycle, so you get like 2 bonds in 2 cycles in a row, and it's about trying to maximize that, in a sense. Like, yeah, that's how I found you improve throughput.
I only had one of those 3 tiles used. At least one of those tiles with an arm. There's other ideas behind going actually fast on tricycles.
Tricycles.
Gonna go ride my tricycle at freeway speeds.
Alright, we never actually got what do we reckon the secondary for tricycles should have been?
Rate or gold, because I submitted for both.
Okay. Actually, I don't think it matters. I think either way, Fiesta 618 comes in 4th. I think I said the previous one was 4th, but this one's actually 4th. Whoa.
Yeah, 26 is getting up there. That's what I started at.
I only ever got mine down to 30. I never got under 30. Oh my god, these one-use arms though. Oh, and it loops, nice.
So pretty. It's so pretty.
I love it.
So this is 3/4 throughput. It's using the triplex bonder 3 times every 4 cycles. And 26 is where it kind of, you can get to 25 with that, but 26 is close to where that approach bottoms out. It also is one of the fastest convenient numbers, because you get to use the same inputs on every tape loop. If you try to use the triplex bonder 3 times in 3 cycles, you now have to also do input buffering, which is awkward.
Yeah, you can kind of see here, like you can hear it. You can hear the triplex bonder activating 3 cycles in a row. I think it's 1, 2, 3. But then there's a bit of a gap. But yeah, that's where you're gonna squeeze your last few cycles. It's hard to, that's where it gets properly hard to squeeze. Okay, now finally coming in at 3rd place is Ebanov at like way cheaper, but also 26. Don't get the. You're gonna get the staircase idea was cool though. I don't think I would have ever come up with that staircase idea. Ooh.
Yeah, just a couple of track loops. Yeah, the 8th cycle, or not the 8th cycle, the pseudo 4-period track loops are really powerful enough here to get you to a few different ways of connecting 3 bonds in 4 cycles.
Yeah, it's pure latency from here. I think you can see the latency because the first bond is made on cycle 4.
It's not pure latency from here.
Oh, it's not? Oh wait, it's not, is it?
My rate solve is max triplex bonder throughput.
Oh no. Wait, let me... Oh, is that what that is? Oh, okay. Right. I never actually saw your solution. I kept myself unspoiled. That's exciting to know. That also makes me think maybe we should have gone for tricycles anyway?
Yeah. Let's say maybe I can already spoil on my score. I thought 25 was too easy for a challenge, and I didn't know if it would go lower than 25.
Yeah. All right. So the main
Like
reason we didn't use
3/4
tricycles.
throughput,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I settled for 3/4 throughput and couldn't find faster. So I thought 25 was pretty easy. You could see a lot of similar solves. I guess it was a wrong assumption.
So here's Relamni's. Yeah, the main reason we didn't use tricycles is because Relamni made this, and we looked at it and we went, okay, yeah, that's probably min. Okay, yeah, this metric's probably too simple, isn't it? Not knowing you could go, we didn't think you could go under 25 at all.
Yeah, I got down to 26 first, and then a 25, and then I took it faster. This is a really pretty idea. It's much prettier than my 25.
Yeah, you can see that like key rotation on slow combat. You can see you can make use of 2 of them in a row. And that's how you get the 3 bonds. That's how you get 3 bonds in a row. To give you that 3 every 4 loop. Okay. Alright, now I gotta say this. So in first place, straight up winning on primary at 23 cycles is Biggie.
Do you want to see the one that is at max rate, or just the one that is cost optimized? That's the max rate. Nice.
So is
This one runs forever.
Alright, so is your 25 the min rate one?
No, this one runs forever. I had one that was min cycles and min rate, and I thought that was, or max rate. Or no, it is min rate. And I thought that was pretty neat, but then I cost optimized it to get a cheaper 23 later.
Whoa! Oh, wanding! Oh,
Exactly. Wanding connects it in the right direction.
Oh, that's how you get that swing! It's... Oh, wow, okay. That's cool.
Yep, and then there's the input buffering problem, which is solved by swinging through a track loop, which I think I showed this solution to Rolomni. Is like, that swing looks illegal?
It's... Alright. As you can see here, where arm 1 currently resides. Okay, that looks illegal. Yeah.
But yeah, this is making a triplex bond every cycle for the rest of time.
Wow. Yeah, you don't actually make a bond till cycle 5, but then from there it's... Oh, and then you wait one more cycle, but now it's once every cycle.
Yeah, and the validation is immediate after, like, there is one point where the infinite is not, like, being modified
That's so
because the other one is still being built on the side.
That's so perfect! Oh my god.
Yeah, this solve is incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was super proud of using wands this way. I think I was talking to Rolomni in the end and saying, so 26 is very easy, but I definitely want full throughput, and I think wands will be the answer. And then like a couple hours later I had this.
Yeah, incredible. The 25 was somehow stuck together, but yeah, this is...
So yeah, so I guess key insight here, arm 4 is the wanding arm. You could grab this atom here, like a bozo, and waste a regrab, or you can just have a wand bonding it way out here and do a length 3 swing like that, which just so happens to give you the exact same swing. And then have it debond on the same cycle that is bonded, have it swing back, and that not colliding is really clutch.
Yeah, I made a separate custom puzzle just to confirm that that was a non-collision before I programmed all of this.
Oh my god, I can't believe that didn't collide.
Yeah, I've put a GIF of it in the Weeklies chat, so Cadspin and others from chat who want to see it.
That's actually awesome. Yeah, Cat's been
And
telling
I-
me to run it for a little while, and the problem is as soon as I do that, it starts slide showing.
It's kind of worth noting that the Critelli is the way that I have an every 2-track loop pretend to be every 3. Every other arm to grab from that source delays while holding the atom over Critelli for 1 cycle. That way it's taking the source every 2 cycles, but only interacting with the triplex bonder every 3 cycles because that's necessary for the pattern. It's the best input buffering I could find because it's hard.
They're still in my head in a bit, if I'm being perfectly honest. Oh, right, because one of them doesn't delay. Right, okay, alright, the buffer makes sense to me now. Yeah, the buffer initially wasn't making sense, because I thought, like, if all the arms are waiting over Critelli for a cycle, like, how are you...
Then it's the same as none of them doing it, yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's only like a couple of them do it.
Yeah,
Which
it's every
lets you-
other.
Yeah, which lets you cheat a once every 3. That is the most biggie thing to work out, just like cheat once every 3 when you're grabbing once every 2.
That was the first step in this becoming possible, yeah, that track loop on the right.
Yeah.
And then the one on the left, and then the wand, and it all works. I'm glad this worked, and I'm kind of tickled no one else saw it, and we're all stuck at 25 and 26.
It's like when Mr. Dowsing, you can just like set it up and just pretend you can output once every 2 cycles, and you could for just enough outputs that it works. That is a skill I straight up do not have in this game. I couldn't tell you how to do this. I couldn't figure it out. Alright, that is all our showcases for Ignition Code. Oh?
I thought I submitted overlap cycles.
Mr. Puzzle. I don't see it in
Also,
my
I can't-
parser.
Did I? Oh, I'm dumb. I loaded them up. I didn't click submit. Here we go. 2 more.
Are you gonna DM them me, or are you gonna do it through the website?
I just sent it through the website.
Alright, cool.
Oh, goobered it up. Yeah, I'll upload these. There. Yep. Showcase. Didn't click submit.
Okay, I gotta reboot the solution parser to load these in. Okay, alright, here we are. Alright, first we have overlap cycles. Whee!
Full score.
I love the debonders.
They don't actually disappear. They never actually physically disappear.
Kind of
Yeah, I
funny
guess
to watch it's kind of funny to watch the bonds change as the molecule slides across, though.
Oh yeah, you can. You can see them changing. It's funny, because if I'm... Yeah, because the way you've set it up, the debonders activate right after... No, the debonders activate right before triplex. But
Yep.
that all happens on the same, like, half cycle. So it registers, like, at the end of that cycle as a... as a triplex bond for the purpose of outputting. Okay. Alright, and the other showcase was, I believe, your 19 cycles solution. So if we do a little cheating, you can imagine this being the winning tricycle solve.
Yeah, it's tricycles if you just only had one input.
Or not, or I haven't scrolled down far enough. Also that. Whoops. Okay, so yeah, more rust removal vibes, which makes more sense now that I think about it.
The triplex themed Space Invader come after the rusty one.
Well, you need different types of Space Invaders, right? Because to make them like graphically different. To make this...
Yeah, they're an army. They're not a hive mind. Or are they? I don't remember the lore.
Anyone here up to date on the very deep Space Invader lore? Okay, that does it for Ignition Cord. I guess I can edit the recording in case I don't want to include the Nightmare Fuel showcases, but I will load those in now, because we do have a few Nightmare Fuel showcases to go back to.
Based on the challenge, I made a really good TI solve.
And I didn't.
It's alright. I think I'm really proud of what I made, and I want it to get seen.
We will give it the time of day. Okay, close up parser. Oh damn, this is a long stream, isn't it? Okay, so back to Nightmare Fuel. So Biggie and I had a bet on TI that was made during the last stream as to who could make the better TI solve. And then I wasn't able to make a TI solve because I didn't have the time or energy for it. I'm sorry I didn't turn up to the challenge, Biggie, but I will be eating a tissue regardless.
It's okay. If I beat the number that you told me as a guess, then you can eat a tissue.
Okay, my guess was 28.
And that's quite a bit down from Gecko's 49.
Yeah. Speaking of which, though, we will start with Gecko, who updated the TI solve down from 49 to 39.
Oh, nice. This looks like it's still a half T because it's grabbing a copper from each input.
Yeah.
Oh, I submitted 2 versions of my TI, by the way, one of which has a bunch of disposals overlapped with debonders so that it doesn't chug from the infinite waste.
That is an incredible amount of wheel arms, though.
Yeah, this one is doing a good job of disposing of waste. But it's gonna chug because of that.
Why is on 11 needed? I think it's 11.
Hmm?
Yeah. Why is on 11 needed? And whatever number this is on
No,
the
this is 39.
outputting arm also input the air.
Are you asking? I can't read arm numbers on the stream either. Is it the delivery arm?
I want to save the hex arm that grabs the air by just using the output arm to also input the air.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, if you move the air to be in the grabber there.
Yeah,
If arm 12,
arm 12 would have to be a hex arm then, but
would it save instructions though?
It would remove an arm and save 3 instructions.
Oh, okay. Well, what's being suggested? Sorry.
Move the air to be in the grabber of arm 12, get rid of arm 11, and just see if arm 12 carries air in a circle and outputs properly. You would have to change it to a hex arm and rotate the air input. The air is off by 1 rotation.
Ah. Oh, and arm 10 can output.
It doesn't work if there's not enough space to get those glyphs.
Oh, wait, there's definitely not going to be enough space, is there?
Yeah, that's actually a risk.
Nah, yeah, no, that doesn't work.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's a pivot in my solve that exists because the arm that just grabbed it doesn't have the space to output it. But it actually just gets away with doing a pivot to hand it back to this rotating arm. It's a very familiar problem that I'm watching play out here though.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate arm 10 regrab of the...
Yeah, arm 10's got like, yeah, like, there's room for like a couple bonders and stuff, but I don't think it's quite enough.
Yeah, it's just geometrically gonna crash back into the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if like you moved arm, no, you can't really move arm 10, can you? Because it's grabbing that silver.
I wonder if you can stick it to the waste chain and then have the air delivery arm pick it back up after the waste chain carries it there.
Oh no, arm 10 never grabs the silver. Maybe you could like move arm 10. But then you'd have to move arm 9 as well. Yeah, you could maybe toy around with it, but like it's not at all trivial.
TI has a lot of that, not at all trivial to it.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely been thrown in the maybe pile. Okay. I guess people are curious about biggies, so am I. I just looked at the score. So my guess was 28.
Yeah, Bist guessed 30.
I did in fact Biggie did in fact beat my guess. He got it down to 26.
So yeah, a 1/8 T26.
Oh wait, this is the cheating one.
It's still better to watch this one. I mean, there's no difference between the two except this one won't lag.
Okay, alright, let me load up the non-cheating one and have it run just to... What is that area? Just to prove to everyone that Biggie beat me, honestly. And then we'll go back to the other, and we'll just play that one for, like, analysis. Okay,
So
this
each
something-
input is one. Each input is 1 Moors and 1 iron.
Okay, this is something I kind of expected to... This is something I probably would have toyed around with if I was building it myself.
That would have also been my idea, but I concentrated on area.
And with 4 inputs, you get a silver, and that causes the disposal not to proc. And then it goes into this, like, cycle on the two hex arms that are both doing grab, pivot, rotate, drop.
Oh.
And after it cycles several times, it just happens to make almost the perfect shape.
Oh, you know, I tell you what, if I had time for a TI solve, this would have been, I reckon this would have been close. Alright.
It was close to being close.
It was, yeah, unfortunately, I was very short on time and mental energy, because you need mental energy to play Opus Magnum to help think and puzzle and brain. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough of that this week to really give TI a proper go.
How about we get the non-laggy version up on the stream?
Yeah, we're not going to make it to 6 without something terrible happening to my computer.
Yeah, because it's 1/8 T and there's so much extra lead up time because of the cycling, the other one is much better to watch.
Yeah, we were like already slideshowing and it were like still was only half done. Okay.
Yeah, after this I was like, I wonder if the refined bronze TI record could go down with this tech, and then I looked at refined bronze and it was using this already.
It was using that exact tech, yeah.
I'll
This
claim
would
that
have
I
been
did this on my own and not by looking at TI records.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned if I had time to compete, this probably would have been close, because like this was the idea I immediately like. This with arm 1, this thing here to take the Moors out, is probably something I would have seen pretty quickly. And yeah, I don't know how I would have done this though. That's probably where the difference would have been. How well
It was
I handled this
it was probably on the order of 10 hours getting those last 3 arms. I was going to find something that was over 30. And I kept just not being satisfied and scrapping it, and then I found this, and then I was satisfied.
Yeah, you see, I had, like, last Sunday, I had, like, a 10-hour window to play Opus Magnum, and I wasted it trying to find 30 area.
Oh no.
I thought I'd have time later in the week to, like, come back to TI, and I didn't, and I was very sad. But yeah, that's probably where, yeah. In a different universe, I would have spent those 10 hours on Nightmare Fuel TI, and we would have had a contest, but nevertheless, I will be starting to eat the tissue now.
There's a bit of a shout out to Metal Chaos in the bottom right, if that makes you feel better.
That actually does make me feel better. That did not go unnoticed.
Even if it's just a tiny handoff from one copper arm to another for it to all work, it still has that little bit of smack of Metal Chaos.
Okay, we do actually have a couple more Nightmare Fuel showcases. So, see if I can spot them on the parser, because they're kind of dispersed randomly. Alright. So our other challenge for Nightmare Fuel was area. And I guess true to the puzzle's name, area for this puzzle is also a nightmare.
Yep, I can confirm.
Oh, I am making no progress on this tissue. Just chewing a ball of hard. First of all, we have Fiesta, who got a 31 area solve. There we go.
Who was it who said they have a N+5?
Yeah, that was Fiesta. I don't believe...
You can improve 20. You can prove that 26 is impossible.
Yeah, I think they were assuming that you would only need one bonder and that somehow you would be able to fit everything in.
Yeah, you can prove 26 impossible by just considering waste. You too much waste to get 26 to be possible.
So as you're going to quickly find out, the problem with area and why it is so annoying is the waste. Once we see the first output built. Got 3 silver on the board already, interestingly.
I feel like this one has enough glyphs to where it will not build waste, it just has to build 2 outputs.
Okay.
Yeah, this
It's
is
when
the-
you are. Yeah, there's better things for waste.
So there
That's
are
probably what the
like
animismus
three
is for,
possibilities,
actually.
I think. 30 would be wasteless with disposal, 31 if you use animismus. 29 is the minimum if instead of animismus you would use duplication to get rid of the fire and have 3 gold waste at the end.
Gold waste.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then there is the produce for sub 29 with a lot of waste.
So we do get waste handling here anyway because of the Vitae, but like the problem is made a lot nicer by the animismus glyph, which you don't actually need to solve this puzzle, which is why this puzzle is so annoying for area.
I'll say that I designed it thinking only of cycles, and people saw area in it through their own warped minds.
Well, the solution title to Rolamnes is thanks Biggie for making it a cycles challenge, which is not sarcastic.
Yes.
If I was going to do a second rate or a second metric for this, it would be rate, and then that's like 5 outputs per 16 cycles, which is also stupid. So I didn't do any second metric. I was like, showcase. Cycles is hard enough.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. Just rate for this puzzle would have been terrible as well. Good lord.
Because then you can actually use the extra, like, cycles didn't use as much of the big input as it used of the little input. And rate would have to use them both equally.
Pop quiz, would latency have been a difficult metric for this puzzle?
I think 13 is doable, 12 isn't. I don't think latency is often, if ever, a good challenge. Fulmination is like an extreme outlier in that latency had a difficult min.
That is like one of the best ever metrics in a tournament puzzle, and it was latency.
Man, this one's 60 even just because of the waste handling. This is a lot of effort to go to. Yeah, I'm happy the area was only by suggestion and not by demand.
Alright, we'll let this run, and I'll show you how much worse it gets. Do you remember green vitriol? There was an area challenge for green vitriol.
Yes, and it was like the 15 puzzle where everything is filled except in one.
Yeah, and it was like, yeah, it was a jalapeno challenge. If it was like, if you get down to 20 area without a certain glyph, I had to eat a jalapeno, and it was done by 2 people. But the solution was just like 3/4 of the hexes was just like waste. And it was just like a bajillion cycles of shuffling. Keep that in mind as we look at Rolamnes' 28 areas solved.
He stopped giving me updates on whether he was making progress to 28. Oh man, I haven't seen this yet. He was sharing ideas, and like one failed to 28 that only failed because of the second to last bond. And like there's so much challenge in this, and I can't wait to see how late assembly looks.
Yeah, I think this is my 3rd design that I tried.
You mentioned
and
this
I run-
design being way less annoying than the other 2. I do remember that.
Yeah. And this one was so convenient in the end. I don't know why I didn't spot it earlier.
Of course, convenient is a relative term.
Yeah, convenient for 28.
Would you say that the solution is fire?
Oh, it will be. Wait, is it supposed to make...
Again, programming with the 12th big input and thought that I could finish and then did the rest.
I don't actually remember there being gold.
Well, in the
It is
screenshots
an
I
inevitable.
showed you that were just those where I tested it and then I was like, okay, I have gold waste, but let's just replace it by some fire. I don't know where the gold will be. So I had different setup atoms and arms.
Having the second bonder here is pretty important too. So you have to, to minimize the amount of hexes, you have to swing the product over.
Yeah.
Oh god,
Yeah,
I'm not even close
the
to finishing this
convenient
tissue.
last bond of silver and air to the rest of the product would need 5 free spaces on the board, but I only have 4, so I have to bond the other air last, and thus I need a second bonder.
And so 28 is provable min. You can prove 27 impossible.
No, I can't prove 27 impossible.
That's painful to hear.
Yeah.
Hey, if someone pulls off a 27, I will showcase it on the weeklies. I shouldn't even tempt people with that bet. That's a terrible idea. Don't do it.
Yeah, you can maybe rule it out by really thinking about the last translation of the output, the bonder position in respect to the output, and then seeing that you need some pivots that need more than 3 free spaces to get the other bonds in previously. I don't know.
Yeah, as you can see, we still have to build 3 of the products. Waste is it's already a lot of waste. I do like the way you bond everything together.
Which is different for the 6th output, by the way.
Oh, is it? Oh no. Alright, 4 down, 2 to go.
Not that much different, but yeah, a little bit.
I'm not going to finish this tissue by stream. I'm not getting through this. It's so dense.
I have never eaten a tissue despite being the person who started the tissue wagers. It's just because I think I just make much more conservative wagers.
Yeah, I thought about making a bet about this area solve, but I was like, no, I'm not doing bets. Let's stay true to this.
Yeah, the only wager I made was that you couldn't beat my winning by 3 TI solution for Film Crystal by 2 additional TI.
That was never happening in a million years. I should know when you're that confident about a solution, it's almost never misplaced.
Yeah, the other time I was obnoxiously confident was the computer puzzle, the subtraction, explosive logic unit.
I thought you weren't that confident with how good that solution was.
Now the shuffling begins.
We're at 5 of 6. And
Oh yeah,
there's some stuff.
Last one.
This reminds me a lot of the purified air, I think is what it was called. The puzzle where there was a single air atom and like dozens of lead per input.
Oh.
And you just had to shuffle it all. It was just shuffling it away.
That was Rebix who made that, wasn't it?
I think Jojo and Rebix both worked on the area solve.
Alright. Alright, we got a couple more air atoms. It's so much waste. now to move him back.
We have bonded air to fire.
Yes, to get the errand into a more convenient position to bond it at the last step. Oh yeah, now I'm bonding this air
Oh,
hoops,
that was a nice pivot.
and then yeah.
Sorry, I kind of skipped over the pivot a bit, but that was a very nice pivot. Now you've lost one bonder.
Yep.
Oh, and you can squeeze it there. Nightmare Fuel 28 area.
So well done. So well done.
Yeah, it was a pain. I considered only doing 29 instead of this.
You're an absolute trooper for making this. Okay, alright. That was a very good way to finish it up. Thank you for those solutions. Thank you everyone for all your submissions. This is really cool. We're Joe, we just cracked the 3-hour mark. Nice. Alright. Thank you for joining me. Next week will be Servant's Wheel. I look forward to your submissions then. And this has been a great stream. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. See you next time.